Welcome to our YouTube channel. As a part of our Polity PYQ series, today we came up with a new question. So before going into this question, there was a comment on stating that how we need to find this type of quotations that I use in this Polity answer writing. So you can just the technology became so useful in this preparation that you can just directly go into this Google and ask for the best quotations in terms of Indian federal structure or best quotations in terms of Indian constitutionalism, so that you will find a very good quotations, and among those quotations you need to find the better one and the wise one, and you have to just mug up it so that you can use in your questions. So this is the answer that I want to give for that particular question in the comments. Okay, so let's look into today's topic. So the question is, in spite of unitary features of constitution, federalism survived in India. Comment, right? So when there is a word called comment, you have to write what you, it is not like it is not that what you are willing. Okay, so you have to write two sides of it. Okay, so here if you observe, today we'll focus first what are our keywords, next what is the demand of the question, right? Yes. So what are the keywords? Keywords are, first one, it is unitary features. Next one, federalism. Okay, so what is the demand of the question? Demand of the question today, it is a little tricky. I can say that in spite of unitary features of the constitution, there was a comma, right? So in spite of unitary features of the constitution, see, he's saying that yes, we had unitary features in the constitution. So first demand, you have to state few unitary features in Indian constitution. Okay, in Indian constitution. Later on, the federalism has survived. Federalism has survived. So how it is survived? So we have to write. So these are the two demands that was asked in this particular question. So now let's look into the question. So here the intro, how can you start an intro of this question? If you observe, yeah, so you can start your, as I told you, the polity intro should be an articles or quotations, or it can be of any judgments or relevant current affair examples, right? Current affair examples, right? So today we use this concept, that is through judgment we'll start. Okay, so in the intro you can start with SR Bombay judgment, which has stated that federalism is a part of basic structure doctrine. So you can start your intro in a simple and basic way by mentioning this, but here you need to highlight this SR Bombay judgment. Okay, so next one, if you observe, next one, as I told you, here this body. Okay, so body, first they ask that in spite the unitary features, right? So here just draw a diagram. Okay, so whenever there is like two demands in the question, so it's better to represent one demand in a diagrammatic way rather than going in a linear way by writing. Okay, so here you can say unitary features, just keep a heading like this, and you can draw a box, and now you mention what are the unitary features. Okay, so that we have seen in our India, that is the first one, appointment of governor, that is under article 155. Okay, so this is better if you mention the article itself by center, so it's an unitary feature, right? Yes. Next one, emergency. During emergency, the extensive powers rest with union. Okay, so yes, that one. After that you can say single citizenship. If you observe in the single citizenship, you can mention, so you can mention that it is mentioned in part 2 of the constitution. Okay, so like that you can mention, and you can highlight this article and this part. Okay, so next one, that is all India services. If you observe the all India services, that is IAS, IPS. Okay, so these type of services will be recruited and trained by center, but they will be worked in the states. So we can say that this is a unitary feature. Okay, so in this way, by mentioning these type of articles and parts, you can make your answers unique. Okay, so emergency features also, here also you can write an you can state from article 350, one second. So from article 352 to 360, you can mention this as well. Okay, so you can also mention this, so you can highlight this type of things, that is articles and parts, right? So these are the unitary features. So just give a glimpse of unitary features that we had in our constitution. Okay, so after that, that is our next demand of the question, that is India survived. Okay, so India, so what is the other demand? So of the constitution, in spite of unitary features of constitution, federalism survived in India. So federalism has survived in India. So we'll say federalism survived in India, because just keep like this, and ensure that you will write at least 5 points, because as it is here we wrote 4 points, right? So we'll make at least 9 to 10 points in order to fetch more marks in our mains. Okay, so first you can say that constitutional amendments, that is for example 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments, which has made this local self-government. Okay, so by this the unitary features has been reduced and the local governance has been given a power. Okay, so constitutional status to create panchayat raj institutions and urban local bodies in order to ensure grassroots democracy. Okay, so that one. And the next one is, if you observe constitutional bodies like interstate council, which is under article 263, and zonal councils are established. Okay, so these are established to provide a institutional platform to solve the disputes between center and states, right? Yes, that one you can write. After that, if you observe now, next one, that is policy of dual government. That is, you'll have a central government and state government. So if you observe, part 5 of our constitution deals with union powers, and part 6 constitution deals with the state. Okay, so there is a division, okay, in order to ensure federal structure. Okay, next one, independent judiciary. So if you observe the original jurisdiction to solve disputes between center and states are with independent judiciary, that is Supreme Court, right? So it is a feature of federalism. It is a feature of federalism, that is an independent judiciary is taking care of these disputes in order to solve them in a fair way. Okay, so in a fair way. Next one, Rajya Sabha. This establishment of Rajya Sabha. What is Rajya Sabha is also known as Council of States. So this Rajya Sabha ensures state interests at union level. So you can just say that the structure of bicameralism. Okay, so here you have written 5 points. So here you need to highlight few things, that is 74th and 73rd Constitutional Amendment Acts. Next, Article 263, zonal councils, and next Part 5 of the Constitution, Part 6 of the Constitution. Next, original jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Next, the structure of bicameralism. So by this point we can say that the federalism has survived in India in a very decent way. Okay, so next we need to focus on how we conclude. So if you observe, India is not a strict federal like USA. So here you can mention a political author, that is Casey Fair. He stated that India is a quasi-federal. That is, he said that India, okay, so in this way he told India is a quasi-federal because India is a unitary state with subsidiary federal features rather than a true federation. We are never a true federation. Okay, we are never a true federation, but we are a subsidiary. We have a subsidiary federal features. So we have to ensure in the conclusion you can say that India is a quasi-federal because India is a unitary state. Okay, so unitary state with a subsidiary federal structure, and it is rather than a true federation. India is never a true federation. Okay, so you can mention about this particular political author in order to fetch more marks. Okay, you have to highlight this type of authors in order to get better marks. Okay, now let's look into the things that we have did today. So yeah, did we mention about keywords? Yes, we mentioned unitary features and federalism as well, and other demands are met, that is unitary features in Indian Constitution and federalism has survived, that is how. Okay, yes, by this I can say that we have understood this question fairly and we have answered in a decent way so that we can fetch good marks. Thank you.